know where you are. I love Guns N' Roses. I always will. And it's cool stuff, man. I like that the legacy is still going.
Well, with this change of the weather, some people might have a little rock and roll pneumonia.
You wanted the best, you got the best from my home studio on Long Island, New York. Welcome to Ian Scotto Rocks. I am your host, Ian Scotto, and we're talking about the high-end, originally British clothing brand Represent Clothing. They're located in Britain originally, but they actually have a flagship store in LA. When I went out to Hollywood, I checked it out, which is really cool. So, I mean, they do higher end clothing of all sorts, but they've done a bunch of collaborations with different rock and metal bands, including Metallica. And I want to talk about this shirt at some point because I'm not necessarily a high fashion guy. Every now and again, I will splurge on something if it's really cool, namely this shirt, but I did not pay quite the outrageous prices you're going to see in this video. But I, still paid a pretty decent amount for it, but I really dig it. And I'm breaking it out for the first time for this video, so give me a like. But they just announced a new collaboration that they just dropped with Guns N' Roses. And yes, the prices are pretty outrageous, but I can tell you the quality of their stuff is really good if you're into this type of thing. I know that the prices of merch in general for rock bands have just gotten outrageous. Going to a arena show or stadium show where you're paying $55 for like a very just regular shirt is ridiculous. To me, these are a little bit more artistic and limited, and there's a lot more that goes into the craftsmanship, so I understand splurging on these, although I wouldn't spend retail price, but that's just me, to each their own. I'm a very middle-class guy who every now and again sees something I like and I'm into, just like some people are into the really vintage shirts, the old stuff from the 80s. My friend Tyler from the band Electrocutioner I saw on July 4th, and he was wearing a old school White Lion shirt that he told me he bought for $80. Now, I'm kind of skeeved out by buying secondhand stuff personally, but if that's your thing, you do you, baby boo. This is the email I got because of the fact that I've checked their stuff out before. I'm on their mailing list, so I was like, oh, cool. Represent is dropping this line with Guns N' Roses. And I was like, let me check out what they have on here. So I'm doing US prices, and yes, you'll see they're pretty outrageous, but it's really cool stuff if this is what you're into. All right, so you'll see all this different stuff right here. Really cool pieces. I mean, when I zoom in on each of these, you'll see. So what do we got here? You got 8 different pieces. Let's just check them all out. And as you can see here, these jeans already sold out. So it's very limited stuff. It's almost like ordering a limited art piece. Let's check out this denim jacket. So yeah, this is the front. That's not where you see the Guns N' Roses stuff. But then check out the back. That is really cool. That embedded Guns N' Roses Represent on there. And it really does look like an old school vintage jacket. And hey, I know people are going to say it's overpriced at $380. I get that. But apparently it's already sold out in every size except for small. As you can see, this dude here rocking it along with the other stuff. Pretty cool if that's your thing. But unless you're a small, you're out of luck. Because I bet you between people who just like the logo and are being trendy, let's be honest, there's a lot of those people out there. And actual Guns N' Roses fans, they're like, this is a really fucking cool drop. Let me check it out. This hoodie is badass, man. I was checking this out, this zip-up hoodie. And as you can see, you got like, I think these are rhinestones on here. And the cool thing also is you got all the original 5 faces because of the fact that we don't have Izzy and Steven anymore. I've seen more and more Guns N' Roses stuff coming out with just the Slash skull and the Axl skull. And let's be honest, that's not really what we want. We want all the 5 original members. So that's on there. You got the artwork on the sleeves. Let's check out the rest. And then on the back, you got Guns N' Roses London. So this is for the London tour, because what you want and what you get are 2 completely different things. Represent, so that's the name of the tour if you don't know. And this just looks badass, man. You got different, as I said, designs on the sleeves. This is a video of this dude modeling it. And I already know there's going to be people hating in the comments, because if you're not a high fashion type of person, you might be like, I have no use for this. This is a cash grab. I get where you're coming from, but it's now that I actually bought something, and I'll get into, it's really quality merch they put out in here. So, yeah, you got this on the back with all the tour dates, I guess, for Europe. And that's really badass. You got all the different skulls from the the Appetite album on there. Really cool. Let's go through the rest of these. I mean, this is a t-shirt of the same thing that you saw in a hoodie. And yes, I'm aware 155 is a bit much, but if you want to splurge on some really cool limited edition Guns N' Roses merch, I mean, these pieces do look really cool, and it's going to be different and actually fit a lot better, which I'll get into, than your average Guns N' Roses stuff you're going to see at Walmart, quite honestly, which that's become huge, right? Just seeing Guns N' Roses stuff everywhere you go. So yeah, this is a t-shirt of the same thing that we saw before. You got that in 2 different colors. And the other thing too is these aren't like on a completely white shirt or black shirt. These are like custom dyes. As you can see here, this is kind of like smoke color, and that's similar to some of this stuff. And then let's check out the last piece. I think we already saw the jeans. Yeah. Oh, we didn't click on them. Those are sold out though. And from the front, these just look like regular jeans, right? This is like maybe something Axl would rock. But what do you got on the back? Yeah, you got the embedded Guns N' Roses on the pocket. I would never wear something like this, but if that's your thing, you do your thing. So what happened for me is I'm on their mailing list, and I was like, you know what? Ride the Lightning is my favorite Metallica, and it's such a badass shirt. And I was like, if that long sleeve ever goes on sale, I'll pick it up. And so what I learned is that about twice a year, I believe, they open something called the Vault, and they do a sale like half off on a lot of different stuff. So when I saw I was able to get this, like I said, still expensive. I think it dropped from 160 to 80, but it was 80 with free shipping. And I said, you know what? I'm going to splurge on this. And I really like the way it fits. So I'm typically either a medium or a large. I went medium because this fits a little bit baggier and boxier, as you can see. And it's a really cool fit. I mean, it's a little bit higher, but it's a medium. So I would say if you're really thinking of getting some of this merch, if you're between sizes like me, like between a medium and a large, I've heard people say stay true to size. I would say size down. And I'll give you a full 360 of what this looks like. So I'm 5'10". I'm about like 170 and change, maybe. You got the electric chair on there. You got that little zombie hand. I think it says R.I.P. Cliff. And then you also have like these details right here that are really cool. This says Represent Metallica, 40 years, Ride the Lightning, 1984 to 2024. And then you got the little Represent over here. So, look, I'm not swimming in cash, so I'm not one of these people who could do a full haul of all this stuff. But I would say if you see one of these Guns N' Roses pieces and you go, you know what, I'm not paying 155, but let's say it goes on sale for like 60, 70, I'll buy it. It does happen about twice a year if it doesn't sell out, and these didn't sell out. And so, yeah, I was able to get it for a good deal, and now it's back to the regular price. So sign up for their mailing list. I am in no way getting paid or sponsored saying this. This is just my own experience. And they've done some other really cool hauls, as you can see here. There's Iron Maiden. Let me just see if I could put it in here for the entire Iron Maiden haul, just to give you guys an example. Yeah, you got, we're not going to do all of them, but like a shirt like this, if you're an Iron Maiden fan, is really cool, right? And they did an entire Metallica haul. There's the British metal on there. I'll show you some of the other Metallica stuff. They did a whole bunch of stuff for Metallica. So as you can see here, you've got tank tops, you've got long sleeves. This is the shirt that I bought, of course. But you got hats. You know, like if you want to... And there's other stuff they had that is sold out. But like, look at this, for example, this kind of mashup of some of the classic albums right here. You've got the Black Album. And yeah, you got the Black Album. You've got And Justice for All, Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets, all on one album cover. And it's really cool stuff. If you're someone who's into like the vintage look stuff, but you're not interested in buying secondhand, that's kind of my deal. Now, they also did a collaboration with Mötley Crüe. They did Oasis as well, but they only have these on the website, and they did a bunch of other Mötley Crüe stuff. And I don't know what the deal is, if they just stopped carrying it or what. This says it's in-store only. When I went to the store in Los Angeles, I actually didn't see it. But they did a bunch of other stuff for Mötley Crüe. And you know what? I saw a guy who does like a try-on haul for all these. He did the Metallica one. He also did like a cool try-on haul for Mötley Crüe that you'll see on screen. So I'm just kind of stalling as I talk about this, and you'll see some of that Mötley Crüe merch on the screen. So you'll see credit on there. Shout out to him for doing these. I don't even know if he's a rock fan. There's so many people that you see who are just into the logos, and these bands are making a killing because of it. You know, like Mötley Crüe, Def Leppard especially. How much stuff are you seeing with their logo on it? I was actually just talking about this with Jimmy Allen from Puddle of Mudd, who's a personal friend. Like, yeah, the merchandise for these 80s bands and 90s bands is like next level. So yeah, I personally would say this is a really cool shirt, and I love some of the Guns N' Roses stuff on there. Am I going to order it at that price? No, but because I'm on their mailing list, if I get an email alert that the vault is open and you can get it 50% off for now, I may make that purchase. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think the merch stuff has gotten out of control, or are you into this? I feel like my user base, right, my audience is probably not so into this, honestly, because I think this stuff, as much as like I like this shirt, and I saw like Jose Mangan wearing one of the Metallica drops, and Katie Babs from SiriusXM, which looked really cool, but a lot of the people buying this are just like fashion snobs who know nothing about the band. That I don't think is cool. If you're into the band and you want to get like kind of a limited piece, I think it's badass. Hey, speaking of limited edition merch that you actually won't have to break the bank for, I have merch for Ian Scotto Rocks on the web store, which you could check out. Be sure to subscribe, like the video, let me know what you think. Do you know where you are? I love Guns N' Roses. I always will. And it's cool stuff, man. I like that the legacy is still going. With that, if you want to watch a video I did related to Guns N' Roses, you can click on this right here.